Good morning, I am Kiran Raj. Welcome to the online classes on LAMP technology. Today we will discuss about second part of the installing Apache 2.0. In the previous class we discussed about downloading of the Apache file, then compiling it, checking whether it is the proper or the valid file using the keys, then extracting the files, afterwards compiling, configuring and installing it, and we have also seen how to stop the Apache and how to restart the Apache. Today we will discuss about the configuration file. The Apache uses one main configuration file that is called as httpd.conf. It contains most of the directives. Directives are the commands in plain text. Location of the file is set up during the compilation time and it can be changed by using the -f command flag. If you remember properly, in the previous class we have used something like hash dot backslash configuration or configure minus path or prefix is equal to prefix. In the prefix part we have mentioned the path. So it will be having that path, and it is not like httpd.conf is only the configuration file that we can use. We can use srm.conf also and we can use ss.conf. Let us say that you want to include or you want to add new configuration file to your Apache. Then what you have to do? Then you have to use two commands. One is include command or include directive, and another one is path directive. What the include directive will do? Include directive will be adding other configuration files and its instructions or and its directives. It is going to add other configuration files and its instructions or its directives. Now what the path is going to do? Path will direct you the point to where the additional configuration files are installed or where it is present. So you have to know where the files are present. Why? Because every time it should be compiled. Any directives can be placed in the configuration file. That means you can place any commands in the or inside the configuration file. So Apache is very flexible. You need not use only the single configuration file. You can use as many number of the configuration file, plus you can use the directives that are not present in the configuration file also. Sorry, you found one directives that is useful to you. So what you have to do? Just open your configuration file and paste that directive inside your configuration file. So it is very flexible, and later on you can make use of that directive also. When you make any changes to the configuration file for the application or for the implementation of that directive or for that configuration, you have to restart your Apache. That means you have to stop the Apache and then you have to start the Apache again for the changes to be applicable. Now let us assume that instead of the configuration file that you want to include or that you want to add, you have included the directory using the include directive. Then what will happen? Then Apache will go inside that directory and it will parse all the subdirectories as an configuration file. So even if you are adding the directory, it is going to add everyone present in that directory as the configuration file. Now Apache works best when you are going to have only one configuration file and all the directives are present in that particular configuration file. Why? Because if you are having 3 or 4 configuration files, every time you have to open those 4 configuration files and you have to have the application running, so it is very time consuming and overheads will be there. Okay, so it is best when you are going to have only one configuration file. Now Apache reads MIME types also. Type config directive can be used, and MIME.types is by default. In the configuration file, you are going to have the directives, and in one line you are going to have one directive. In one line you are going to have the one directive, and let us say that you have the explanation of the directive very long. Then what you have to do, in the previous line you have to mention the backslash as the last character. For example, I am writing one directive and I am writing the explanation. I want to go to the next line, then what I have to do, then I will use the backslash at the end of the line and then I will come down. Now let us say that again the explanation is too much, then what I am going to do, again I will continue writing in the same line, and at the last of the line, that is end of the line, I will again use the backslash and then I will come down. Usually one directive will take one line, but in certain cases we require 2 or 3 lines. In that time we are going to use the backslash as the last character in the particular previous line. Now directives are case insensitive, so you can use the capital and the small letter also. It will work fine, that is command will work fine. But what about the arguments? Arguments are case sensitive. Lines starting with hash characters are ignored, and the blank lines, white space before the directives are also ignored. Now you have to check the syntax error in the configuration file. So to check the configuration error, you can use Apache control config just, or you can use -t flag. Now let us see some of the important directives in the or the entries in the httpd conf. As I already mentioned, httpd conf is the main configuration file. You can use other configuration files also, that is srmconf and ss.conf. We have different types of the configuration files are there. We can use them also, but httpd conf file, it will be present with you even if you are using other configuration files. And another thing, you can use them by including include directive and the path, where include directives mentions you want to include that configuration file, and while coming to the path shows where the file is going to be. And you can use the, or you can include the directory instead of configuration files also, but when you use the directory, Apache is going to that directory and it is going to parse every subdirectories present in that directory as an configuration file. You are only going to have one directory per line in the configuration file, but in certain cases where the explanation is needed, then you can have the backslash at the previous line, and you can use your own directory and you can use your own configuration files. So it is very flexible. Some of the directories in the global environment. So first one is server type. Server type, it can be standalone or inetd. When you are saying it is standalone, that is the server will be having only one server to handle every incoming request. While coming to the if your server is of inetd, then for every new request, new server will be created. And as soon as those request is given the service, the server will die off. Standalone, since you are going to have only one server, it is faster, but while coming to the inetd, you have to create new server for every request. So we are going to have the overhead in the server request, and we have to reconfigure, and the rereading of the configuration file should be done. So it is very time consuming and it is slower. While coming to the standalone, you don't have to do the reading of the configuration file, or the overhead of the server request will not be present, so it is faster. Most of the time we will specify that server type is of standalone. Server root, it sets the path to the server directory. You can show the path where the Apache is installed. So this is set when you are installing the Apache, but later on we can change that also, no problem. That depends on the user. Error log and custom log. Error log and the custom log indicates whether the log files are existing or not. If the log files are existing, then where it is existing. Okay, log file. What is the importance of the log file? Log file, that means you are locking into the file. So what is the importance of that? When you lock any file, the others cannot make any changes on that. For example, let us take example of 5 people are there, A, B, C, D, E. They want to access one file. Now A wants to just read the file, no problem, he can read, right? But let us say that B wants to change some contents. If the B wants to change some contents and C, D, E and A are reading the file, when they are reading the file, it gets changed, contents get changed. So what is happening? The contents of the files are getting corrupted. To prevent from the corrupting of the file, we are using the lock file. So when you make log file, it will be on particular directory or particular file, or it will be on particular region of the file. It sets the path to log file when the Apache is compiled. PID, that is process identification number, file in which server should record its process identification number when it starts. So PID is the process identification number. It should make note of every information about that process. Scoreboard file will give the complete information regarding the server process information. Depending on the architecture or depending on the request from the server, it makes sure that no two server or the Apache will be having this same scoreboard file, that is same contents will not be present. Timeout, as the name suggests, it indicates the timeout period, that is number of seconds before Apache receives and sends the timeout. For example, for any connection there should be timeout. After the timeout is over, the timeout signal will be sent and later on the connection will be broken. Keep alive, we have two things here, keep alive on and you can make it off also. If you are making it on, then it indicates whether the persistent connection that is allowed or not. That is, when you are making connection, if it is normal case, then what is the thing? Only one request per one connection, right? Request response paradigm, one request, one response, then the connection will be broken, server will be not knowing about the client. But when you make keep alive on, you are keeping the connection on for the next request also from the same user or from the same connection. When you make it on, so you can have more than one request, but if you keep it off, then you can only have one request per one connection. Max keep alive request, it indicates the number of maximum persistent connection that you can have. For example, you can have 100 here, so it indicates the maximum number of requests to allow during the persistent connection. So keep alive shows that you can have the persistent connection, and max keep alive request shows that how many number of requests can be present in that particular persistent connection. In the max alive keep request, it is better if you have the maximum number, and it works better when you have the maximum number. If we keep it max keep alive request as 0, then it indicates that you can have the unlimited amount of the request. Keep alive timeout indicates the number of seconds to wait for the next request from the same client or the connection. Min pair servers or max pair server indicate the server pool size regulation. Apache tries to dynamically adapt to the load, maintain enough server to process and handle the current load. Fifth pair servers are able to handle transient load spikes. What do you mean by transient load spikes? Sudden increase in the load. You are going to have the periodic checking of how many servers are waiting for the request is done. If number of servers is less than min pair servers, then you are going to create the new pair servers. If the number of servers is more than max pair servers, then you are going to have the some spare servers die off. Spare servers plays very important role in handling of the load or sudden spikes in the load. It is able to handle them. So we require spare server. Start servers and the port, it indicates through which port the server should communicate or through which port the server should run. User and group IDs will be set from which the process will process the request. If the server runs as root, there may be problems with the security because hackers may come and exploit the privilege. And if you are running on the root and the hackers got into your system, then he can take every permissions and he can exploit the system. For the security reasons, we will be not running the server as the root, but we will be running it as underprivileged servers. In this Linux, we will be using the command called as nobody. Server admin, it gives the email address so that the problems can be emailed or any feedback can be given. Server name, it just sets the name of the server, and server name is very useful when the same computer is having multiple servers or it is having multiple IP address, then it is very useful. We will see that in the hosting part. Document root indicates absolute path of the documentary, which is top directory from which the Apache will serve files. Document root is also the root of the web tree and it defaults to user local Apache 2 htdocs. Assume that you have installed the things in user local and Apache 2. If you remember properly, in the installation part, we installed in user local and Apache 2. So you can say that if you have installed in this particular location, then you are going to have /htdocs. If you have installed in some other places, then that place or path /htdocs. Directory indicates, it specifies the name of the file or the files to use as the pre-written HTML. So you can have the any number of index files. If you are going to have more than one file, then separate them. User dir indicates the name of the directory appended to the user's home directory if user request is received. Document placed in the directory will be http server name / username. So when any user is getting connected to the server, then you are going to have file where it is having or appending the name of the user, but it will be starting with tilde symbol. For example, user 1 is connected to the server name, then http /server name / username 1. If I am having second user, then username 2 / username 2. That is in the next one. Alias and script alias, it will create or map the URL path to a directory on server. Additional options can be added to directories using the directory and option directory. Directory is a container directive, so it is going to have the closing directive also, that is /directory, similar to your HTML commands. Directory placed in between directory is applied to the subdirectories also. Apache will allow decentralized management of the configuration files via special files, and those special files are called as .htss, but any files can be specified in SS file name directory. So you are going to have the decentralized management of the configuration files will be there. It is done using this special file called as .htss, and any files can be specified in the SS file name directive. The directive applied in .htss files apply to directory and subdirectories where the file is placed. Directives applied in .htss files apply to directory and subdirectives where the file is placed. .htss has the same syntax as the configuration files. It reads on every request and it is going to make immediate changes. While coming to the configuration file, when you add new configuration files or new directory to it, you have to restart it, but here it is not the case. Since for every request it is going to read the configurations file, it is going to read the HTSS file, the changes you are going to make is done immediately. Directives placed in .htss can be controlled by configuring allow override directive in the main configuration file httpd conf. So these are the some of the options. So we have exec, CGI. CGI scripts can be run from this directive tray. Follow symlinks. The server will follow symbolic links in the directive. You may be getting the doubt or the confusion what is symbolic link. In the Linux we have two types of the file storage using the symbolic links or the soft link, and another one is using the hard link. In any system, when you are having the files, we are going to have the database for it also. So let us call it as inode. So we are going to have inode, and inode will be having every information about the file except two things. One is file name and the contents of the file. It is going to have every information, who is the owner, what is the permission, where it is present, and it is going to have every information, user, group, everything. But it is not going to have the file name and it is not going to have the content. I already mentioned you are going to have two types of the file storage in the Linux, that is symbolic link or the soft link and the hard link. You can consider symbolic link as the shortcut. What is shortcut? Shortcut is a link to that particular file, and the shortcut size is also very smaller. When you open the shortcut, go to that particular file and you are going to fetch that content. But while coming to the hard link, if I am having file A, then I am going to create the copy of the file A. So it is same complete file, but the names will be different and the inode of the hard links are different. Inode of the hard link and the original files or the multiple hard links we can also have. So multiple hard links, inode number and the original file will be different. But while coming to the soft link, inode number will be same of the symbolic link and the original file. When you delete the original file in the symbolic link or in the soft link, then the soft link also will become waste. Because consider shortcut, if I delete the original file, then I cannot make anything out of the shortcut. But while coming to the hard link, I already mentioned you are going to have complete same copy of the file. So even if I delete the original file, I'm going to have some information, or I'm going to have my information. Okay, so it will be very easy to have the symbolic links. So library can be very easily maintained of the links. Includes, it is going to include the server sites and which are permitted. Includes no exceptions. It provides every permission, but only the execute command and the hash include of the CGI is not provided. Indexes, if a URL which maps to the directory is requested and there is no directory index in that directory, then the server will return a formatted listing of the directory. So it is only going to map them, and you are going to have the directory index, and you can have the multiple number of the directories index can be present. Multi-views, contents negotiated multi-views are view or allowed. Symlinks if owner matches. Again, this is regarding the symbolic link. The server will only follow the symbolic link for which the target file or the directory is owned by the same user ID as the link. That is, it is only going to give you the permission to open the particular file if original file and then the soft link file, that is symbolic link file, both are having the same owner. If they are having different owner, then you will not given any permission. All everything or every permissions is given or everything is working except the multi-views, and by default you are going to use the all option. Thank you.